I wanted to start with a macro question. We've seen the Dow Transports now trade lower 8 sessions in a row. The airlines have been a part of that over the last week or two. What do you think has driven that sort of negativity towards the sector in the last couple of weeks?
Yeah, there's been a lot of worry. If you watch CNBC or if you read the newspaper, there's been a lot of worry around the world, geopolitical risk, worry about the economy. Though at United, we've seen solid demand really through the end of the fourth quarter and as we've come into the start of the year, even with things like the government shutdown, enough good things happening to overcome some of the headwinds.
What was the start of this quarter softer than perhaps February and the start of March because of the government shutdown and other factors?
Well, look, there's always something in the airlines that's going to be a bit of a headwind, and the government shutdown, the polar vortex, but there's always things like that. At United, we're trying hard to deliver on our guidance, even when we know those kinds of things are going to happen, and anticipate that something unexpected will happen. And so we're glad to be able to reaffirm our guidance today, even though we had some of those headwinds in the quarter.
Scott, I'm curious what you see for business travel demand this year. I know it's been a big focus for you guys and an area of investment.
Yeah, we saw a big increase in corporate demand in 2018. That's continued very strong as we've come into 2019. Really in almost everywhere around the globe, with the possible exception of Brazil and Argentina, we really see strong business demand and growing business demand.
And just what's your assessment right now of the promotional environment and capacity discipline in the industry, or lack thereof? It seems that's the one thing that the market tends to worry about at this point in a cycle.
Well, I've learned not to use the word capacity discipline. And look, at United, what we're doing is growing in a way that's good for United. We have uniquely United opportunities to grow our hubs. We announced a year ago a growth plan that was 4 to 6% growth each year for each of the next 3 years. It was really successful in 2018. We're off to a great start in 2019. So we feel really good about what is happening at United Airlines and think that there are a lot of uniquely United opportunities ahead, and the future continues to look really bright.
Scott, it's interesting you mentioned that, because in your presentation at the JP Morgan conference earlier today, you did keep citing United's potential relative to the industry. What exactly do you mean by that? What is your unique potential?
Well, there's a lot of things that are potential, but at its core, the biggest thing is the opportunity to grow hubs that are undersized. Our competitors who fly hubs have grown those hubs to 900, 1,000 flights a day. And United, particularly at our mid-continent hubs in Chicago, Denver, and Houston, had undersized hubs where there was about a decade where United wasn't growing while the market was growing around us. And the real opportunity at United is to make those into mature hubs, to grow those into mature hubs. And we started that in 2018. It worked really well. And 2019 is off to a great start. But at its core, that's one of the most important, uniquely United, at least growth advantages.
Talk about this fight that you're in the middle of with Expedia. We heard a lot about it from the Expedia report. Has it escalated? And if so, what's going to happen? Can you actually block Expedia from United fares?
Well, look, I wouldn't describe it as a fight. The world has changed. And at United, we have an incredible app. We have the best app of anyone in the business. We have great ability to sell to our customers, to give our customers a great explanation of the product they're buying, whether they want to buy basic economy all the way up to Polaris class. And in that world, we'd much rather have a direct relationship with our customers. So we've told Expedia that we're going to let the contract terminate at the end of September, and we plan to move on without having a relationship with Expedia. And so the court battle is really about whether should Expedia, knowing that we're not going to have a contract starting October 1st, should continue to sell tickets for travel that happen after October 1st. And the problem with that is, from a customer perspective, if they buy a ticket on Expedia and then they're flying in Christmas, for example, and there's weather and we need to reaccommodate that customer, we're going to have a really hard time servicing that customer once we no longer have a relationship with Expedia. So we've made the decision to move on from Expedia, and the question is just about when we stop letting tickets be sold.
Scott, just wanted to ask quickly about a recent report that said there were cameras installed in the TV screens on the back of the seats in United aircraft. Was that true? Why were they there? Should they have been there?
Yeah, we bought some standard off-the-shelf equipment, or one of our suppliers did, which did include cameras. The cameras were never turned on, by the way. We are going through a process now of actually blocking the cameras, even though they've never been turned on. Just for peace of mind for all of our customers, we are going to block the cameras on those airplanes that have them.
Were you surprised when you learned that? Are there any other possible areas of the equipment you have where there are things included that you're not aware of?
I admit that we were surprised that when we found that out, and we have been going through a process to make sure nothing like that exists at United, and we're pretty sure that it doesn't. But I suppose you never know for sure what you don't know. And again, in this case, the cameras were never turned on. We weren't using the cameras. They just came standard on a piece of equipment that one of our vendors bought.